it should be pretty obvious, but when you find art you like and you want to show other people, you should say who did the art. Like, otherwise that is literally stealing, and a lot of people don't realize that, but like, I know a lot on the internet, it seems like stealing is no big deal. I mean, how many times do you download music illegally, or watch a video online, or watch a movie online, or a TV show, etc. But the thing is that when it comes to the music or the whatever, the stealing that's there is that you're still enjoying the content, and you still know who did it and everything else, but you're just not paying for it. But with the art, they're not even asking you to pay for it to not to be stealing. We're just asking you to tell people, hey, this is this person's art, or at the very least, just like link it back. Like, you don't even have to say bye, just like link it back to the person's original post on their DeviantArt or their Tumblr or whatever server you found it on. And this happens so much, and there are actual websites that are all based around freaking sharing art without crediting the artist. We Heart It being the worst. So if you find something on that's via We Heart It, it's not credited, it's bullshit. Don't share it. Try to find the original artist and share it from there. Because the thing is that as an artist, it's hard to get recognition, and people will love your art, and sometimes someone will find a piece of your art and you're like, wow, I love that style, or I like that theme, or I like the sort of thing that artist does. I want to find more of that stuff by that artist. And then they can't. And that's also where we can get opportunities for commissions. If someone stumbles upon our art and is like, wow, I love that stuff. I would love that style, but like with this character or with this thing. And that's how we get commissions. And as an artist, it's always the goal to, possibly make money off of our art. Not that we're asking you to spend money on our art. We don't care. Well, I mean, but like, how would you feel if you spent a bunch of time on something and you worked really hard and it's taken you years to get as good at doing this thing as you are, and then you make this thing and then you want to show it off and say, hey, look at this thing I made, isn't it awesome? And then people say, hey, that is awesome. Hey, look at this thing I found. It's like, oh, who did it? I don't know, or not telling anyone. And then you're like, but I did that. It's like, okay, well, there's no proof of that. But, alright, if you say so, dude. And it gets frustrating for the artists, because we see our babies, because we put so much time and effort into our art. Even if we draw the actual piece quickly, think about all the time it's taken us to get that good, because believe it or not, no one is born with the ability to draw amazingly. It takes years and years of practice. That's another thing when it comes to how people treat artists. Everyone's like, oh, you're so talented. I wish I could have been born that gifted, or, oh, it's a gift. Like, my freaking religious family is always like, oh, it's a gift from God, that's, and everything else. I'm like, bitch, you should have seen me, like, even a year ago. That art was shit. And you should have seen me, like, I was an awful artist until actually fairly recently. And I took all sorts of art classes all over the place, and I'm always trying to better myself. And even I don't consider myself all that great. A lot better than I was even a year or two ago. But I spent years, and also a lot of it, I've spent money on it too, by going to college for school and everything else. And in fact, the year I did Algonquin, took my art from here to up here. And so I spent so much time and energy getting myself to a point where I can draw this amazing thing. And then I also spend time and energy on drawing that individual amazing thing. And then people just steal it. Or even worse, that people will even take credit for art that they haven't done. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why? First of all, if anyone, it's so easy to disprove you, like saying, oh yeah, look at me, I'm such a great artist. It's like, oh yeah, can you draw this and whatever? Like, no, no, I can't actually. And besides, that's fucking a dick thing to do. Why would you do that? Like, that's such an asshole thing to do. I mean, you didn't spend the time and energy to get that good and then to make that piece, so why the fuck should you get the credit for it? Like, that'd be like someone, that'd be like somebody grabbing Van Gogh or Pollock or all these famous artists, grabbing this piece, hanging it on their wall and then their guests come over and say, I love that painting. Oh, I did it myself. No, that's fucking bullshit. And the worst is when people they don't want to assume credit for it, but they don't want to spend the 5 seconds reverse Google imaging searching something to find the artist. So they'll say, credit to whoever did this. Imagine at the end of a movie, instead of the credits, it just shows, credit to whoever made this movie. Like, it's like stupid. No! I mean, if you go through the credits, they credit absolutely every single person who even did the most minuscule thing to add to that movie. It's in the fucking credits. Because they're like, look at this masterpiece that we just released. Here's the people who actually made it possible. Like, you're not gonna... Like, and artists are so underrated too, because people are like, oh, you just doodle that quick, it's so easy. I'm like, but again, took years to get that good. And also, like, people don't want to pay for commissions. They want to pay us in experience and exposure, and they want free art, or they'll if they will be willing to pay for it, they're willing, the amount that they're willing to pay is fucking ridiculous. I saw this thing, this person only wanted to pay $10 for a 1-minute animation. That is 720 drawings for $10. That's less than a cent per drawing, because guess what? There's like 12 frames per second, and then 60 seconds. I'd be remembering the actual number wrong per second, but people don't realize how much work goes into it, or like a comic book page full color, or even an image. That'll take several hours, and you're only willing to pay the amount that is like half of what you would pay anyone else to do any other job for, that is way easier and didn't take any experience, such as mowing the fucking lawn, an hour. Like, we'll spend like 5 hours on this drawing, and you want to pay us $5? Are you fucking kidding? That's ridiculous. And yeah, the worst, though, is the exposure and the experience. Dude, I could do that with my own fucking shit. I could get exposure on Tumblr or Deviant, or by posting my art everywhere, and experience drawing shit I actually want to draw, and things that I know will actually improve my abilities. Like, oh, I'm really bad at drawing this thing. I can do these pieces that focus on that thing to improve my skill on that thing. Like hands, a lot of people have trouble with hands. I used to as well, but I worked really hard at doing it, and also freaking college education on that stuff, that just like a few simple tricks, and I was like, oh my god, I can draw hands now, they don't look like squids. Anyways, yeah, this video is getting long, but basically, yeah, respect artists, because it does take a lot more work than people realize. We're not born with that ability. It takes us a lot of time to get as good as we get, and it's hard work. It's like, people expect it to be, think it's so easy and it's so much fun, but you try doing that. You try, and it's not that we're gifted again. They feel like it's so easy, but I mean, it's a lot of work. We have to just get the finished product. We don't just do one drawing, even if it's just a one-piece thing, because we have to do the structural drawing, and then we got to do the rough, we gotta do the pose, right? We gotta do the gesture, the pose, and then we gotta do the structural drawing, and then we gotta do all sorts of stuff, and then we gotta do the line art, we gotta do our rough sketch, and then we gotta do the line art, and then we gotta do the color, and then we gotta do the shading, and then we gotta do the lighting. One piece has so many layers that it has to do, and it takes us so long, and it's so much work, and you have to know things. Like, to draw a person, you have to know how the body works. You have to know what anatomy is. I know where all the bones are. I know how all the muscles interact, and how fat looks, everything else. I had to study this, and like, I've had to do like freaking hour-long drawings of parts of the skeleton or muscle groups and stuff like this. I have a great big fucking honkin'. I'll just grab it right now. It's just right over here. You see this book? This is an art book, not a medical textbook, but an art textbook. Do you see? Like, it's all these different parts of the body, and it's also got animals in the back, but yeah, like, all this anatomy you have to learn, and how it all works when you do different movements and all this other stuff. Like, an artist is not just drawing bullshit. We have to understand how shit works, how the skin works around the eye, how everything's proportioned, and how everything mechanical works. Like how with the hand, it kind of curves, and all this other stuff, and how it all moves for different things. Because we have to be able to just, from our own knowledge of how things work, and also we have to know the anatomy of animals, not just humans, because to draw animals, and all this other stuff, and how perspective works, and everything else. Because you can't just, draw an image or also look funny, because you have to have everything lined up with the vanishing points, and you have to do it with organic shapes such as the human body. Drawing a person in perspective, you have to be able to draw the same character from different viewpoints. It's super fucking complicated shit, but everyone thinks it's so simple and so easy. If it was simple and easy, then everyone would be able to do it. But that's not the case. Which is why there's select people who are good at art, because it's not that they're good at art because the natural bit, the gift, the talent, whatever you want to call it, the natural bit is the drive, the passion to do the art. It's not the ability to do the art, it's the interest and the passion and the determination to get better at doing the art. Anyways, thanks for watching.